Good afternoon, early evening. Kings-Pelicans tonight. Kings back at it in New Orleans, winding down the season. Couple more important games to go for the Kings. We'll break it all down for you. And by the way, Grant's got a special announcement on the postgame show tonight, so you definitely don't want to miss that. I'm Ryan in Sacktown. This is the pregame show on If You Don't Like That. How the heck is everybody doing right now and this evening? Hope you're doing well. Wanted to let those know that don't know. Grant has a show on Listen App. In fact, it's going live right now. I'm going to do a live check-in right here. Check this out.
When you look at the Kings, their second half of their schedule, meaning not really the second half, but the second part of their schedule after the All-Star.
The reason I'm telling you this is you can, just like this guy right here, see, you guys can call in and talk to Grant every day of the week, Monday through Friday. He typically has a show. Let me get that closed out. He typically has a show, and it's your opportunity to talk to him. And he takes questions. He stays on for as long as people have questions. Sorry, MC, I'll put it closer to the mic next time. But it's a really cool show. So listenapp.co. Usually Grant runs either 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock Pacific, depending on the Kings schedule. So check that out. Thought it was a good opportunity to remind you. Jeff is in first tonight. Jeff says New Orleans -4. Kings are going to rest Friday to avoid Warriors in the playoffs. And well, now we're getting to the big questions right off the bat. No, I don't think that that's going to be the case. There's so many scenarios right now about what could happen. In fact, depending on the outcome of that game, there's certain scenarios, obviously, the Clippers and the Lakers, that could have a big effect on who the Kings play. That game takes place tomorrow night. I mean, really, if the Lakers win that game, likely the Clippers would be the Kings' first round opponent. But, these are all, we're going off of if so-and-so wins or what happens if they win. So, who knows? Too early to be told, but I don't think the Kings are going to take any different approach when it comes to their opponents to determine who they play, with the exception of that Denver game. That game's going to likely be a throwaway. So, anyways, thanks, MC. Appreciate it, buddy. Yeah, thumbs up, guys. Please do the thumbs up. Please like the channel. Been getting a lot more subscribers, which is awesome for Grant's channel. So let's keep that going. Let's see. Jeff's back in again. Jeff is on it tonight. Kings may not want to win tonight as New Orleans has tiebreaker over the Warriors. The Kings aren't thinking about those things right now. I really highly doubt that they're thinking about that. And in fact, I could almost guarantee that, especially with the way that Mike Brown approaches the game. He doesn't care who the Kings are going to be playing. He's going to bring it and have that team ready for whoever's rolling into Golden One Center. And I am pretty sure that's going to be the approach most of the players have as well. But I have been wrong before. So who knows? Got to get it right. Well, I'm going to take that down. I don't want to get in trouble. Come on now. Come on. Who put that? MC. Slap on the hand. Yeah, lights. That's why I wanted to pimp that right at the beginning of the show, because not a lot of people do know about it. There's only about a group of 30 or 40 right now that are there every day. And you got about an hour of Grant's time where you can ask him anything about any sport. Usually it's a lot of Kings. But yeah, go check it out. Listenapp.co. Listenapp.co. Rich, Kings want to hit that 50 win goal. Yeah, I mean, certainly they want to win as many games as possible. I guess to you guys as fans, does the 50 game thing really mean that much to you? To me, it winning 50 versus winning 49, it's not going to be. It doesn't make the season that much better. That's still a very successful season, especially with the expectations that the Kings had coming into the season. They surprised all of us. Hello, Lids. And Lids also says hello to everyone. Yeah, the Pelicans tonight. Kings coming off a very bad performance at home. They are the underdogs. They are -4, or the Pelicans are -4 tonight, meaning the Pelicans are favored by 4. As it probably should be. New Orleans is right there in the middle of the hunt for a playoff spot. And they're gonna bring it tonight. Obviously, no Zion still. They are going to be without Alvarado, Grand Theft Alvarado. That guy's pretty darn good. Heck of a spark off the bench as a point guard. But other than that, they're pretty much full strength. So expect to get the Pelicans' best shot. Both of the games against New Orleans have been quasi blowouts. Well, one was a complete blowout, I should say. Probably the Kings' worst road loss of the season, maybe the worst loss of the season altogether. That was that 32-point loss when New Orleans was pretty much without all of their guys. And then the Kings got them by double digits at Golden One Center back in early March. So, we'll see how it shakes out tonight. I do worry about the Pelicans' length. We talk about that. And I also worry about the Pelicans mixing in some zone defense against the Kings tonight. Pelicans, they're 6th in defensive rating in the NBA, so they're already a very good defensive team. Kings, interesting enough, and credit to Connor with this one. We were talking on the postgame show about the differential with the Kings and why they don't play well on their home court versus their good road record, and they play well when they're away from Golden One Center. And at the time, which was a couple days ago, the Kings were 9th in defensive rating when they're on the road, which is really weird, right? And at home, it's 29th, which is more normal because the Kings are not a very good defensive team. So credit to Connor for pulling that stat. I mean, there's some other layers to that, and you got to look at point differential. You got to look at opponents. But that could be one reason why the Kings have not been very good. Jeff back in. Yes, Monk is playing tonight. So he will be available if Mike Brown sees fit, which I am thinking he will, especially coming off of Davis's performance the other night. Which I was not very happy about. I'm a little bit of a critic of him. I think that he's pulling the three way too quick. He should not be shooting 8 3-pointers in limited minutes when Sabonis only has 12 shots. So, and I know Terrence Davis is a streaky shooter. He can get it going. We've seen it. But that's not what the Kings probably want. So I would like to see Monk get those minutes tonight for sure. Let's see. I'm scrolling down here. David. Hope it goes well, David, for sure. Good luck, buddy. I'm not going to put that on the screen, but glad that you shared that. I know. Go Nevada, you're gonna rub it in, David. You know what? It's program changing for them to make it that far. I did lose the bet to Connor. The bet was if State won, he would have to wear State gear the next time he comes on this show. and vice versa, I would have to wear UConn gear. So lucky enough, I found some UConn gear at the Goodwill. So I will be rocking that sometime in the next couple shows. Just kidding, not at Goodwill. I have to get some UConn gear. Anybody have a plug? Let me know. But yeah, it changes what the trajectory for San Diego State for sure. So happy that they got there. Bittersweet, you're that close, but that's okay. Good for the Mountain West. Definitely good for the Mountain West. Scrolling, you guys are all up in the comments tonight. I love it. Remember, again, tonight Grant's here for halftime, post game. I will join him on those shows, and Grant has a big announcement. Not joking around. Big announcement. He will be making that on the post game show, win or lose. So tell a friend, text a friend, email a friend, tell everybody to get here for the post game show. It is going to be a dandy. Let's see. I'm trying to get through all this stuff with you guys. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Grant. So listen up. Definitely. That's what the entire show is predicated on. It's having the opportunity to interact with the callers, just like he had with his radio show in Sacramento. I know we do the chats here, but a chat is much different than, being able to talk to Grant and, give him a take, give him a little bit of run for his money. Don't back down. He likes a good debate, a good spirited debate. What is on my hat? No, that is not my brand. That is actually Taryn Wells. He is a Christian singer, but he's more of like not hip hop, but how do I put it? He's like the Michael Jackson of Christian music. If you never heard of Taryn Wells, go check him out. Even if, I don't want to talk about religion on the show, not going to do that. A lot of his music is not, everybody seems to like his music regardless of your beliefs. So yeah, I really enjoy him. You're gonna say the Warriors, Jeff. You are all over tonight, my man. Warriors basically forfeited 2 games in New Orleans. Yeah, they did, but pretty much the entire league's doing the same. What about Dallas? Right, Dallas maybe shutting down Luka and Kyrie to make sure that lottery pick is protected. You go all in by acquiring Kyrie, renting Kyrie that's a championship move. If you're worried about protecting a lottery pick, right? And you guys know, if you don't make the playoffs, you're in the lottery. If you're worried about protecting a lottery pick, you're not bringing in Kyrie Irving, because that should almost guarantee you are going to be somewhere in the playoffs. What it says is, we don't care about being in just anywhere in the playoffs. We're going to win a championship. Like, this is our year. We're getting it this year. And boy, oh boy, it was quite the opposite, or it has been quite the opposite. So now, they're shutting both of those guys down, what a disaster for Dallas. Absolute disaster. Gave up some young talent too. Gave up draft picks. That could set that franchise back a little bit. Just to give you an idea about the Western Conference playoffs right now, Denver still atop the list. Grizzlies, they are 3 games behind in the loss column in the 2 seed. Kings, 2 games behind the Grizzlies, 5 behind Denver in the loss column. Then you got the Suns in the 4 place. They are 4 games behind the Kings in the loss column. That likely will not be made up. And then here's the logjam, and here's where it's going to get interesting. You have the Clippers, you have the Warriors, Lakers, and the team the Kings play tonight, the Pelicans, all with 38 losses. So there's your top 8 right there. it's gonna. I'm telling you, this is gonna be a fun week to watch the NBA and to see how this pans out and to see what some teams do if they possibly can take destiny in terms of where they will be or who they will be playing in the first round into their own hands. I mean, there's scenarios where the Warriors say they beat Sacramento on Friday. That Portland game possibly could be the Warriors choosing whether they play the Suns or the Kings in the first round. And the Warriors have already made it clear they want the Kings. And why would you not want the Kings? Let's be honest. You wouldn't want to take Phoenix in the first round. You'd think that you'd have a better shot with the Kings. And if you're the Warriors, you're not, even though you're the defending champ, you're not looking past the first round at that point. You have to worry about the first round. So, anyways, Minnesota still hanging around. Likely will be in the play-in, but probably will be out of contention to play Sacramento in the first round. But we'll see. Things can change. NBA scoreboard tonight. Really not a ton going on at the moment that affects the Kings. The T-Wolves are playing the Nets. That one's tied right now at 10 in the first quarter. But then we've got the Grizzlies in the Trailblazers also tipping off at the same time as the Kings at 5. And then Nuggets and Rockets also at 5. Interesting what the NBA starts to do this time of year. I'm not sure if anybody else has caught on to this. They don't stagger the start times. They have a lot of the start times at the exact same time. So like on Sunday, the last game of the season, everybody starts at the same time. So teams can't scoreboard watch and such. So I always find that interesting. All right, let's get back to some more of your comments. Hope again everybody's having a good day, and thanks for joining the show. Timmy Tim, hello everyone. Albert, hello. How's it going, buddy? Hope your night is going well. Ryan, what are your thoughts on Alex Len? Good question. Good question, Mike. Alex Len. He is changing my perception of him. My worry was that, and I am no Monty McNair by any stretch of the mind. So, he's kind of like the sore thumb that sticks out on the floor in terms of athleticism when he's out there with the rest of the guys. And you worry about spacing, you worry about timing. But I have been very impressed with him the last couple games. It seems like he's getting rhythm with that second unit, sometimes even with the first unit, with the rotations there in the first quarter, in the second quarter. And I think with the playoffs becoming more of a physical brand of basketball and looking at the teams the Kings may match up with or get in the first round, it's likely that Alex is the better matchup for some of those bigs on those teams. So I've been satisfied with what I've seen the last few games. He's setting good screens. He's rebounding. And he, I don't want to make it sound like he's not athletic, because he certainly is, but he's blocking a few shots here and there. Obviously, offense, there's some limitations. He can't do as much as Metu did on offense. But he is moving the needle a little bit on the defensive end, which is good. So I am good with it. I guess the question becomes, where does Metu fit into the rotation at this point? Does Metu fit in? I actually think he's going to be one of the guys left out, because Mike Brown, usually the playoffs, and Grant and I hit on this in the last post-game show, usually an 8 to 9 man rotation. I think the Kings will probably flirt with 10, but the majority of the minutes going to 9, and I think Lynn will be in it. What are your guys' thoughts on Lynn? Love to get that as well. Let's see. Somebody's saying there was a prediction. I think there was one guy who predicted the Kings would lose against the Spurs. Probably. There's always one, no doubt. probably will be some tonight that predict the Kings will lose in New Orleans. Lids, if the Kings play great tonight, how is that going to feel to all of us on chat? Look at Lids, you want to run the show for me? You just have to join the show. I'll just put you up. You run it. Good question. I had an upset stomach from the last loss. Yeah, so did I. Had nothing to do with them losing and everything to do with how they lost. So they need to bounce back. And 50 wins probably, like I said at the top, probably not realistic at this point. But it's at this point momentum. That's what you got to worry about. You got to have good momentum going into the playoffs. 100% good momentum, and that's what everybody should be looking for. Trying to get to all your guys' great comments. I appreciate you putting them up here. Let's see. I didn't realize the Kings lost Spurs was only their third road win of the year. Yeah, Lights. Well, they had only won 19 coming into that. You know what they did, and I'm telling you, I will be interested to see if my ears are going to be perked up in the first quarter if I see that zone defense, if I see New Orleans drop into a zone, because on paper, New Orleans should not need to run a zone defense against the Kings. But if they do, that means that trend is catching on and teams are noticing. If Popovich is noticing it, and he had the zone mixed in against the Kings the other night, then other teams are going to follow. And I kind of hit on this on my show that I do in the afternoons. It's like hanging a big piece of cheese in front of the Kings, and it's like, just bite at it, because they can have whatever three that they want at any time, and it seems like that would be a bad thing to do if you're the opponent, but it's worked. The Kings aren't hitting threes. 11 for 44 against San Antonio, and I think part of that is because of the motion in which those threes are happening. I mean, the Kings are usually coming off a screen, coming off a dribble handoff. When you're running a zone offense and you're only swinging the ball around the perimeter, that's catching and shooting. It's much different. That's more of like a Keegan Murray thing. It's not Kevin can shoot the three pretty much anyway he wants. But a lot of those guys, they're not set shooters, and there's something to be said about coming off emotion and being like in the flow. So yeah, we'll see what New Orleans does. Speaking of cheese and wine and all the finer things in life, guys, go check out Bennett's. Bennett is one of the great sponsors of our show. We absolutely love them. They have locations in Roseville, Sacramento, off of Howe and Fair Oaks, and then they have a third one opening up soon in Rockland in the Blue Oaks Town Center. We rave all the time about their steaks, their seafood, but it's just all around a great restaurant, great service, great portion sizes, great ambiance. Brian Bennett, the owner, huge Kings fan, huge supporter of the show, just great guy. I promise you won't be disappointed. And it seems like Bennett's is always doing some type of special. They have a prime rib special on Sundays. They also have Sunday brunch with a mimosa special. So go check them out. Tell them Grant and Ryan sent you. We promise you will not be disappointed. Bennett's in Roseville, Sacramento, and soon to come in Rockland in the Blue Oaks Town Center. All right. Got my live read in. There we go. Let's see. I'm glad I brought up the Listen app thing. Lights is hitting on this a lot. I miss Grant going off on callers. A lot of my cousins always disliked it, but I always appreciated it. Yeah, you never knew what you were going to get with Grant, but definitely, it's fun to debate with him. He respects a good debate, as long as you're not saying stuff that's just ridiculous. Let's see. 10, what's up, man? First one of the night. Hey, Ryan, will you ask Grant to open call lines for post game? Yeah, I will ask him. It's a little harder than it's a little more complicated to do it. We would have to make some different arrangements behind the scenes. But I will ask him. But what I would tell you, Tin, is, and you changed your screen name. Okay, I see you. What I would tell you is tune into the post game tonight. Big announcement coming from Grant. So tune in. Definitely tune into the post game for that announcement. Amen. I'm with you, Donald James X. What's the X stand for, Donald? Let me know. I'm with you. Kings don't care who they play in the first round, and we shouldn't either. Exactly right, my man. The only thing that I care about with the first round is don't sell your tickets. Don't sell your tickets, season ticket holders. Please do not sell your tickets. Fight the urge. Fight the urge. Let's see. Do we know what seeds are playing who at this time? No, we do not, Lydia. If the playoffs started today, actually, I really can't tell you because I don't have the tiebreakers in front of me. So take this with a grain of salt, please. If the playoffs started today, and this isn't even, I'm not even going to do it. I will tell you who the Kings would play if they were today before any of the games. It would be the Warriors, but that is definitely subject to change. And again, back to the last comment, we don't care. We don't care who they play. Ryan, just curious, why do you look up so much? Because I have a 65-inch TV where you cannot see it. It's above me. So if I'm looking up, I'm either checking a score, I'm looking at what the broadcast is doing. So I have timing right here. You also can't see, I have a little timer up here, or I should say here, which shows me how long the show's going, shows me how many people are on YouTube, etc. But I have my TV over there. So that is why I'm looking up. And that's how I can tell you right now that Katie and Mark Jones are doing the crossover right now. So that is the reason why. No, I am not looking at anybody's mother. No. Lights. I am honestly scared of the Wolves. They have our number. I don't like the Wolves either. I'm with you, brother. Again, just put whoever it's going to be in front of us, and I'm going to love it either way. But the Timberwolves definitely. That's why in the post game, Grant was talking about the teams. I threw them in. I said I don't want to see them. The length, Anthony Edwards. I'm with you. And don't look now, but the LA Lakers, I don't want to see them either. I mean, don't get me wrong. It would be great to take down LA. But they're playing good basketball right now. So, and it's like I said earlier in the show, right now is all about momentum. It's all about momentum. So, hello, Ryan. Just got done listening to Grant's show. Thanks to both of you for your shows. Oh, you're welcome. Anytime, yeah. And again, that's why I wanted to put it up. The Listen App show doesn't usually clash with the pregame show, but because it did, I wanted you guys to know that there is that outlet for you guys to talk to Grant. Okay, so I got into it today with a wannabe Warriors fan about this. Wiggins back, don't want Warriors with that, and Pedigree and Curry. Okay, so pedigree, yes, they are the defending champions. So I will give them that. The Warriors, to me, don't look like the same Warriors. That doesn't mean that they're not a champion, but they are not the same Warriors that won that championship last year. Now with Wiggins, here's the thing. He's been working out, okay? But it's going to take a while for him to reintegrate and assimilate with that team. Even though he's been a part of that team for a very long time, for him to get back into the rotation, get back into NBA basketball shape, not only that, but to hop basically straight into the playoffs, which is a completely different style of basketball, it's not going to be overnight. There's going to be some I don't returning pains. I'm not going to call them growing pains, but returning pains with getting Wiggins back into the flow of things. So it doesn't really do anything for me. So I'm not too worried about it. Thank you for the stats, Furious Wolf. Heart back at you. Let's see. Yes, sir. Light. I love how LTB lids is. We all know what it means now. Light the beam. Go Kings. All right. Yeah, he does. That's what I said. He does look awkward. Because he's a different type of player. And if the Kings would have got a shot blocker at the trade deadline, it same thing would have looked awkward, with the exception of a few guys in the NBA that are freaks, and those guys, they're not available and they don't grow on trees. So, yeah, let's see. Len doesn't truly fit our style of ball either, but he works good enough. Yeah, that exactly. Exactly right. Yeah, a lot of stuff on Len tonight. You guys are all interested in that. Yeah, he's gonna have to. He absolutely is gonna have to. I mean, I would be surprised if we're sitting here at halftime and Metu has any minutes. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Okay, you ask Grant this question. Do you prefer Golden State? Drought 16 years. Not particularly. No. If you put my feet to the fire and you said I get to choose who the Kings play in the first round, I'm saying Clippers all day. The Clippers have been wildly inconsistent. Yes, Kawhi has the Kings number, and he is on the All Kings killer team. But George has been in and out of the lineup. Kawhi in and out of the lineup. The Clippers, don't look now. They're a fairly old team. Russell Westbrook, a little bit older, unpredictable. But I will say Westbrook has played well against Kings since the Clippers got him. But the Kings, for whatever reason, on paper, it doesn't look like they would match up well with the Clippers, but they do on the floor. When they play the game, and that's the reason they play the game, they do match up really, really well. And that's who I would want to see 100% of the time. And Donald, again, you don't care who we play in the first round. I'm with you, brother. Lids, yes, it is a beautiful day in Sacramento. Remember, I want to remind you, post-game show tonight, big announcement from Grant. Oh, and by the way, with the looking up stuff, if I look up just like this, that's me looking at my webcam. If I look up like that, that's when I'm looking up at the TV. I don't know why I needed to clarify that, but I thought I would. Let's see what's happening. Ryno OC in the house. What up, Stan? How you doing, man? Appreciate the OC love, buddy. I love the OC, and I used to love the OC television show. I'm not too manly to admit that. The OC was great. Anybody else used to watch the OC? See, these are the fun things that I get to talk about when the boss isn't here. I want to get to all these. You guys are putting up some good stuff. Do you think the other teams will double Fox in crunch time in the playoffs? Yes, I do. I absolutely do. I think it's going to depend on the game. But yes, I absolutely think that I'm surprised we have not seen more of that up until this point. There's only been a handful of teams that have done that and ran people out at Foxy. So we're talking about SpaceX now. Oh my goodness. Okay. One more question about the Warriors from Connor, because I know he is in St. Louis. How important is the Warriors game at home in your eyes? I feel like they really need a decisive win at home for the playoffs. I wouldn't be nervous if they lost because, again, you got to look at the entire sample size of the season. The Kings have not been a good team at home, regardless of who they're playing. So if they're playing the Clippers, if they're playing the Suns, if they're playing the Timberwolves, if they're playing the Lakers, it doesn't matter. We already know the Kings aren't good at home. So the whole Warriors thing doesn't bug me. But what does bug me is the momentum. They need to have good momentum coming into the playoffs. And quite frankly, they need to kickstart that crowd and give that crowd what they've paid for the last 2 games. Give them that moment because the Kings haven't done that. They have not given them that moment to explode. I mean, the fans met the Kings at the airport coming back from Portland to cheer them on. And, they were ready to explode against the Spurs for a 3:00 start. And, it just, so that's why that game is important to me. It doesn't have to be a decisive win. It just needs to be a good win at home. Early predictions. All right, I got you, MJ, because we got to get ready to wrap up. Game's getting ready to tip off. MJ is going Pelicans 120, Kings 117. Okay, I see you, MJ. You're going the other way. Matt, Kings 122, 119. Any other scores that I can see? Kings fan has 145, 125 Pels. You think the Pelicans are going to put up 145? Interesting. Interesting. Any more scores? Yes, Malik is available for tonight. Philip, Malik is available. Drought. He's got the Kings 144 to 76. Drought, you can do the show for the next game if the Pelicans score 76 points. Only 76. No way. They're only scoring 76, buddy. If you're talking about halftime, maybe they have 76 at halftime. All right. Yes, I do agree with. Oh, wait. I thought it said important. My bad, Guerrero. Yes, Malik Monk is playing tonight as long as Mike Brown puts him in. He is available. So, all right, we will end on this. Mr. Mike Dizzle, Kings 135, Pels 126. All right, y'all. Game is getting ready to tip off. Yes, that's why I'm looking up. So, anyways, thanks for joining the pregame show. Remember, we're back at halftime. More importantly, post-game show. Be here. Grant will be here halftime post-game, but at post-game, Grant has a huge announcement. Huge. So, that was weird. Tell me not to ever do that again. So, yeah, Grant will have big announcement. So make sure you are here for that. Just like Guerrero said, let's get it. MC, go Kings. Perfect timing, Kings fan. Light the beam. Let's do it, guys. Thanks for being here. We will see you at